So I have successfully wholesaled every property that I've wholesaled, that I've actually gotten to the closing table and gotten an assignment fee for, without using any of my own money. Which is important because, first of all, I didn't have that kind of money to be doing anything like that. But not only did I not have to use my own money, I also haven't lost any money. How did I do that? So, the very first thing that I do when I get a property under contract, one of the key tenets of it is that you have to put down a deposit. It's called an earnest money deposit. It goes towards the seller, and it would eventually apply towards, as the buyer, it would apply towards your purchase price. There's solutions for that. You can get lenders, you can get partners who will help you put that money in. At the time, what I ended up doing, and what I've done since then essentially, is you do technically, legal disclaimer here, you do need to make sure that you have access to funds, because you don't want to be deceptive in getting under contract with a seller and really not be able to perform. You have a duty and an obligation, a legal obligation, to perform under these contracts. However, aside from that, first and foremost, I'm very conscious of my inspection period. This is the time frame that I have that I need to do all of my due diligence for actually purchasing this property and seeing whether or not it's a viable deal. I make sure that I know exactly when my earnest money deposit is also due according to my contract. Typically, I make the inspection period and the earnest money due at the same time. So if it's inspection period for 15 days, for example, I make my earnest money due in 15 days time. Second thing that I do is, once I find a end buyer, so somebody that I'm going to assign my interests of the contract to, I actually will have them deposit their earnest money deposit to the title company. And I make sure that all of this, by the way, has to be done before the end of your inspection period. So I always make sure that my end buyer has their earnest money deposit in by their time, their deadline, to the title company. Third thing I also make sure to do, to not use my own money and also to not lose any money, is I'm not afraid to dip out of a transaction. If it's not viable, if it's looking like there's too many debts on the property, if there is too many liens, if the seller becomes uncooperative, if for whatever reason, I'm okay with dipping out of a transaction and terminating it, because why would I want to waste anybody's time? Doing all of that has been successful for me. If you want to try, follow along, and we'll keep sharing tips here so that you can also be successful.